What if I told you that you've been playing Lily wrong this entire time? This video features the best tips and tricks to help you play the enchanted backstabber Lily. Alright, so to start off this guy, let's go ahead and talk about Lily's main attack, Thorn in the Side. Lily throws out a short-range piercing thorn. The attack cooldown is extremely short and it takes 0.4 seconds to complete. Now what's great about her main attack that I absolutely love is that I can pierce through multiple targets. If you can get close up to the enemies and try to hit them with the same main attack, that will just be added value, plus it will increase your super charge rate. Now with the slight delay that Lily has for her main attack, it's important that you're not running at the enemies when you're trying to attack them. Same thing that applies with brawlers like El Primo and BB, where your attack range is actually shorter when running towards the enemy, making it harder to hit them. You want to have the enemies run towards you, which will make it easier for you to hit them. Also with her attack delay and short main attack range, you don't want to be attacking the enemies at the farthest point of your main attack range. Chances are that if the enemies move even the slightest, your main attack won't catch and it'll just be a wasted opportunity. Since pretty much all of the brawlers in the game can outrange Lily, you want to be strafing as much as you can so you can get as close as possible to the enemies before attacking. Now what's pretty cool about Lily is she actually has the trait that can help her charge her super, kind of like with brawlers like Buzz and Cordelius. However, Lily's trait is a 5-tile circle around her. Similar to Buzz, all enemy brawlers within this circle charge Lily's super by 6.75% per second each, or over 15 seconds for one enemy. Now obviously this rule applies for brawlers like Buzz and Cordelius as well, but you want to be trying to catch multiple enemies as possible inside of your trait circle. Since it will actually increase your super charge rate, the more enemies that are standing inside of your circle, you should be trying to take advantage of this as much as you can. Now as you get higher up in the ladder or inside of rank, smarter players will actually know to stay away from Lily's trait because they don't want to help her charge up her super. Now I know this sounds like a bad thing for Lily because she won't be able to charge her super, and it is bad essentially, but it is also good at the same time. Think about it, if you can hide behind a wall and cause the enemies to retreat from a choke point because they don't want to feed you your super, that's easy pressure you are causing by literally doing nothing. Now I highly recommend you just gotta take advantage of Lily's trait because she just has such a short attack range. The general strategy that you want to do is to just play slowly at the start of the match to get that initial super. Just kind of treat her the same way of playing brawlers like Cordelius and Buzz. Hide behind walls or cover to take advantage of her trait's charging range. All you really need is that one initial super to constantly chain, or at least make it easier for you to get your next super. Speaking of Lily's super, let's go ahead and talk about her super Flourish. Lily shoots out a large fruit that upon hitting an enemy brawler allows her to teleport behind wherever the target brawler was facing, and it actually deals damage too. However, she will not teleport if the super does not hit an enemy. What's amazing about this super is it probably makes her one of the best assassins in the game, you know, excluding brawlers like Leon, because her super can just instantly teleport her behind the enemy and there's nothing the enemies can do if the large fruit connects onto them. It's not like a Buzz super where you can actually try to lower Buzz down while he is traveling towards you, so as Lily you have more security. Another thing that I don't really like about Lily's super is the large fruit that's being shot out actually moves a lot slower than people think. Her super speed moves at the same speed of Ruff's and Eve's main attack projectile, just to kind of put into perspective, which isn't the fastest. At least the large fruit has a decent size to it, so since the width is 0.33 tiles, it has a higher chance of hitting the enemy. So what I would kind of recommend if you want to be chaining and connecting with more supers is to not fire your large fruit at max range. You want to always try to be as close as possible so that the distance the fruit travels is less, thus giving the enemies less time to react to move out of the way. Also, never auto aim your super. There's a chance the auto aim just shoots your fruit in the completely wrong direction, or that it just completely misses because auto aim is just straight up unreliable. Now if you're in a frenzy and there's a bunch of brawlers grouped up together, I just recommend spamming your super button as quickly as possible. Since you can actually deal damage with your super, evade all damage while teleporting, and teleport behind the targeted enemy, just spamming her super and teleporting onto as much enemies as possible is going to totally fluster the enemy team. Alright guys, that's going to be it for her super. Let's go ahead and talk about her gadgets, but the first one I want to talk about is going to be Repot. Activating this gadget allows Lily's next super to throw a fruit that can be thrown over obstacles, and it can even teleport her upon landing, dealing splash damage to the enemies. She will also teleport even if she doesn't hit an enemy with her super. Now as you can imagine, this gadget is going to be fantastic fantastic to jump over obstacles and walls to escape the enemies. You can use it to close down the distance between the enemies if they are low or are trying to hide from you. I can see this gadget coming in handy, especially to surprise a thrower that could be camping behind a wall. Or you could even use this gadget in the opposite manner if you are trying to escape the enemies as well. It can come in handy to jump over walls or other obstacles to increase the distance between you and the enemy so that you can heal up and stay alive. Especially if you are the gem carrier and you need a way to escape this gadget, this can just be a really clutch tool to keep you alive. Now what's actually pretty unique about this gadget is you can do some splash damage upon landing on the enemy. So if you notice that an enemy is low, you can just try and defeat the enemy with the splash damage from the gadget. Especially if your teammates can help you out, lower the enemy for you, you can just jump right on top of them like a Bonnie super and get them down. But okay, that's gonna be it for her gadget repot. Let's go to talk about our other gadget, Vanish. With Vanish, Lily goes into the Shadow Realm for 3 seconds. Lily will turn invisible, but her allies can see where she's moving within the Shadow Realm. Unlike Cordelius, she cannot bring anyone else with her. Now, as you can imagine, this is just a completely broken gadget because you have a Cordelius super as a gadget. This is basically like how Kit has his cardboard box gadget that gives him a Leon super as a gadget. It's just crazy good. Now, one of the ways you can actually use the Vanish gadget is to surprise the enemies. You can hide inside of a bush and travel to wherever you need to go for the next 3 seconds and use that to get closer to the enemy. You can even run into a nearby bush and then surprise the enemy out of that bush, since they still might suspect you to be in the original bush. Now, the other way you can use this gadget is to dodge incoming attacks. If you notice that a lot of incoming damage is coming your way, you can just activate your gadget and just escape into the Shadow Realm for the next couple seconds and avoid all the heavy damage. I'd also recommend taking advantage of dodging shots to get closer to the enemies, mostly because they're gonna use up their gadget, attack, or super, whatever it may be, and just use that to get them down. Now, not only you can use this gadget to escape incoming damage, you can also use it to escape death. If you are carrying a lot of gems in gem grab, for example, and you're getting pressured hard by the enemies, this gadget is a great way to just totally dust the enemies. There is no way they'll be able to know where you went if you change directions after you activate your gadget. It's just a fantastic escape tool. Now, what's very unique about this gadget is you can help out your teammate that is trapped in the Shadow Realm. If you have a teammate that got sent into the Shadow Realm by an enemy Cordelius, then you can teleport there too and 2v1 that Cordelius. However, it could even work in the opposite manner. If Cordelius is on your team, go into the Shadow Realm and 2v1 that enemy. But okay, that's gonna be it for his gadgets. Let's go and talk about his star powers now, but the first one I want to talk about is gonna be Vigilance. With this star power, it actually increases Lily's movement speed by 15% when an enemy brawler is inside her trait's supercharging area. This effect doesn't stack when more enemy brawlers are standing inside her charging area. Now, this star power can come in handy to just give Lily that increased movement speed because her attack range is just so short. Being able to just move around the map faster can give Lily more opportunities to get closer to the enemies. Now, Vigilance can also be used to help you dodge incoming attacks much easier. While she is trying to get closer to the enemies, she can take advantage of the increased movement speed to bob and weave incoming projectiles. Now, the downside with this star power is you always need to have one brawler inside of your trait's charging area in order to get that boost in your movement speed. If there are no enemies near you, this is basically a waste of a star power and you won't be getting any additional value when using it. But okay, that's gonna be for her Vigilance star power. Let's go and talk about our other star power, Spiky. With this star power, after teleporting to an enemy, Lily's next attack is increased by 50%. However, the damage increase only affects the closest single target she hits. Now, in my opinion, this is just the perfect star power to use with Lily because it pairs so well with her super. Now, when you're playing Lily and you teleport to the enemy, you want to try to take them down as quickly as possible, right? Well, with the help of this Spiky star power, being able to deal 50% extra damage with your next main attack just makes it so much more rewarding when you connect with your super. Now, as an assassin, you always want to be trying to take out the enemy before they take you down, especially when you use your super on top of them. Like I said earlier, since you can actually deal damage with your super, evade all damage while teleporting, and teleport behind the targeted enemy, just spam her super and teleport onto as much enemies as possible. Now, one of my favorite parts about using the star power is it makes it so much easier to constantly cycle your super. Think about it, the more damage you can do with Spiky, the faster you'll be able to charge your super, and then that's just more backstabs you can do onto the enemies. It's just a vicious snowball effect that can frustrate the enemies and get you some free kills. But okay, that's gonna be for his star powers. Now let's go and talk about his gears, and the first one I want to talk about is gonna be the damage gear. Now, as you know, with the damage gear, you'll get a 15% damage buff when you drop below 50% health. Since Lily is an assassin, she needs to deal as much damage as she can when she can. She's going to be going aggro whenever using her super, thus probably dropping her a lot in health. When Lily drops below 50% health, the damage gear can go in and kick in, and she can just deal even more damage. Now the second gear I'm going to recommend you use with Lily is going to be the gadget charge gear. Now the gadget charge is very simple. All it helps you do is just get an extra gadget to use throughout the match. Now you need to use the gadget charge gear because Vanish is completely broken. As stated before, having a Cordelia super to use 4 times throughout the match is a great way to deceive the enemies, but also just cause a lot of panic. You can use it in a lot of versatile ways to get kills, control, and cause pressure, thus helping you win a lot more games. Well, there you guys go, a complete guide on how to play the newest brawler Lily. Let me know what you guys think about the brawler in the comments down below. Well, anyway guys, if you guys enjoyed that brawler guide, I highly recommend you go check out this brawler guide right here.